Hi, it's Jewish Prepper here, and I just wanted to go over some quick things that I thought would be important to get out there, some reviews and some interesting points. The first thing is that there's a few books that I'd like to review and discuss a little bit. The first that I got here is called The Prepper's Instruction Manual, 50 Steps to Prepare for Any Disaster. Now, having gone through this book, it's very basic. And I'm finding this is a dilemma that I'm having because I personally started writing a book on emergency preparedness. And I found myself incorporating a lot of things that are in other books that have already been written. I'm trying to find some novel ideas to come up with because I'm finding that more and more these books are just going over the basics over and over again, and I'm finding a lot of the same stuff. And I don't need to buy more and more books that say the same thing. So, you know, is it a bad book? No, it's a good book. Very basic for somebody who doesn't know much, but there are a lot of books like this out there. I was not so impressed with this one. On the other hand, there is another book I've got called Urban Preppers with Kids, Pets, and Parents, Emergency Preparedness by James Mushen. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this book actually, even though, again, it's pretty basic, but it also has some unique ideas, and that's what I like. I want books that come up with unique ideas that haven't been mentioned in other books. And this book tells about all sorts of things from you know, what to do with pets and what to do with, I'm not saying it's never been mentioned anywhere else, but it brings it all together. Pets with seniors, with the small children. It gives a lot of information for practical urban settings with families. And I think that it's a good book. I would recommend it. And I wanted to mention something else also. We all the prepper community often reviews, looks at, buys prepper books and survivalist books and homesteading books. And those are the type of books they're looking at in magazines and periodicals. But we shouldn't neglect other things that are out there. For example, I subscribe to Popular Science and Popular Mechanics magazines. Now, these magazines are not prepper magazines, but they have a lot of information in them that is useful for the prepper, even though many people think that preppers are trying to go back to colonial times 200 years ago and to live the way that they did in biblical times. That's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of innovation, a lot of new technology that can be incorporated into preps. One of the things which I'm hoping to get soon and do a review on that I found in this Popular Science magazine and actually got the grand award winner for one of the 100 best innovations of the year is called the Backcountry Generator by BioLite. It's a camp stove. It retails for $129. Basically, it's a small stove that you set up. It has a battery in it. So you start the fire inside. The battery has a fan that helps it be more efficient. It lights it quicker, lights it stronger, keeps it lit. But the cool thing about this stove, this new innovation, is that battery is not something that you have to recharge. It actually recharges itself. That's the first cool thing. It recharges itself by somehow taking the energy from the fire and creating electricity, recharging the lithium-ion battery that's inside. Now, the second cool thing is that it also has a USB cable, so you can actually charge devices from your fire, which I think is a pretty cool prepper innovation. Again, I've not seen it anywhere else, but it's here in the newest edition of Popular Science, and it's an example why these magazines are important to us. And like I said, I hope to get one soon and do a review on it. But like I said, there's a lot of things in here that, even if we're not going to use it for preps, but they're good things to know about. For example, now we have something called Easy 3D printing. This is a big thing in the gun or the anti-gun community. This is a machine that actually will print in 3-dimensional models. So just like you would print in 2 dimensions on a piece of paper, this is actually create with plastics things, so you can actually create a gun with one of these things, or a weapon, or the like, out of plastics. They're good things to know about. Here's a long-range fingerprint reader. In the past, for example, you had to actually touch something, a screen, in order to get a fingerprint scan. This will read a fingerprint from, I believe it's 6 feet away or something like that. So these are just, you know, I'm not saying that this is an important prep to get, but these are important things to know about because it's the reality that we live in. I can go on and on. There's lots of innovations in these magazines. Definitely worthwhile. Popular Science, Popular Mechanics. I've been reading it since I was a kid. They're great magazines. Lastly, I wanted to share with you a new exciting thing that I've gotten, which I think is a good thing to get if you could still get your hands on them. Let's check it. This is for those who are familiar, a Draco. A Draco is a pistol. It's an AK-47, but they remove the stock and they shorten the barrel, and it becomes actually a pistol. Now, why is that good? On one hand, at least here in the state of Pennsylvania, you're able to transfer long guns without going through the whole process of going through an FFL. You can transfer it from private individual to another resident of the state without any paperwork. But, and this you can't, because this is designated as a pistol. Likewise, without going through the ATF, you're not allowed to put on any type of stock. You're not allowed to lengthen the barrel. There's all sorts of things that you're not allowed to, a forward handle. There's all sorts of things you're not allowed to do. But, that having been said, this is a great thing. It takes normal magazines, AK-47 magazines with 7.62 ammunition, and this little compact thing, first of all, it's great to put in your car or truck. It's wonderful for close combat. It's very, very small and compact. It's not going to be so accurate, both because you don't have that stock to keep it balanced and to keep it straight. You also are missing a lot of barrel. Now that barrel obviously has rifling in it, and the longer the barrel, the more the rifling, the more accurate that round's going to be. So this is not for accuracy here, right? We're not shooting several hundred yards with this, although you could shoot it a couple hundred yards. I've done it. What it's good for is close quarters. So CQC, you can actually go in a house with this, and you don't have to go around corners. This is a very compact and very powerful weapon. Also, I have mounted on it a 6-hour light laser combination, which I think again is amazing, especially for the close quarters. To have a small light, a small laser, they can be used actually together on this. This is a great compact thing. Like, if you could still find these things, I'm sure that once there's a ban put in place, this will be included. Hopefully it'll be grandfathered in. I would say if you can get one of these things. Also, the AR has a pistol version. I suggest looking at that. I've used that as well, and these are wonderful tools to have in your safe. So, thank you very much for listening. This is Jewish Prepper.